Hello, if you are watching this, it means that you are at the point of taking the information that you have filled in with this and you want to know how to write it. So if that's you, jump ahead to when you see this filled in and I come back down to this section. But if that's not you and you still are a bit unsure how to write this bit, we're going to go through that. So you need to complete your CRAP analysis. Now, this CRAP stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Now, they seem like pretty full-on words, and these are some pretty in-depth things to look at, but we as a class came up with some key questions that you need to ask, and whether or not, if it answers, so your CRAP analysis, if you answer yes, it means it's a positive or a, and that's a good thing, makes us happy. If you answer no, it's a negative, a weakness, and it's a sad thing. So remember, you're evaluating your evidence using CRAP for the quality of the research. And then if you think about it, remember, and limitations, it's because it's in the other person's data. So limitations, reducing reliability in data collected. Wait, I'm going to end. There we go. So these are the words that we are looking for. So currency. The words that you guys wrote down, or we wrote down, is it recent? Is it recent? And remember, I told you guys that generally it's about recent in scientific literature. Generally means about 5 years old. So anything over since 2014 this way. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So is it, and if so, it's, and you say yes, it's a strength, no, it's a weakness. Just because it's a weakness doesn't mean you cannot use it. You can still use your data. I cannot stress that enough. You are being assessed on your ability to make this evaluation, not if your data is up to date or if it doesn't meet these things. So keep that in mind. So the word relevance, you said, is it information relevant to your research question? So that is what we'll look at. So that's the question you're going to ask. Is this data relevant to my research? Now, some of you might have done Southern Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere seasons, and you found information about seasons, but it doesn't have that. You might say that that is not specifically relevant to your research question, but there's enough evidence there to support, to sufficiently answer your research question. So that is what we would mean by, is it relevant to my research question? Now, if we have a look down here, so authority, considering who published it. So the person is the person who, person who wrote it, official, or the government, part of the government agency, and things you might look for when you're going through that would be, if you're on websites, so textbooks would be useful, but if you have a .org, a .edu, a .gov, a .association maybe, and I think that was the 4 of them. Yep. So they would be useful things to help you find your authority. The last one with, the other A. So does this information match the other sources? So this is why you have to do your evaluation generally after you've collected your evidence, because you want to make sure that your evidence is all saying the same thing. So does the information match other sources? And then the purpose of it is, as one of you suggested, was why was this written? Now, even though this isn't a, we have decided as a class that why was it written? If this was written for, I'm going to go green for go, as in like positive. If it was written to inform, educate, then these are going to be things that help improve the quality of your data. So these we could consider are positive. And you might want to consider whether or not entertaining or selling an idea or trying to convince someone of a product or an idea is going to be like an authority on this. So I'm going to have to use a different color because I don't have a yellow thin marker. And they would be maybe weaknesses or negatives, because if you're entertaining, you might not be factual and you might not have credible evidence with you. So they would be things that you want to decide on. So what I've got here is your graphic organizer that you're given in class the other day. I'm going to fill in this as if I was a student who's completed their CRAP analysis. I'm going to use the one that we used in class, which was based on the textbook. And then we're going to have a look at how you would actually write this here. All right, so give me a sec. All right, so I've completed my evaluation. This is one that looks like the one that we did in class the other day. So using 6.4 section of your textbook. And then this one here I've made up, but it's to demonstrate the purpose of actually evaluating. So it's the Bureau of Meteorology page for tides with the URL. So I've made up some information here. Let's actually make this a little bit more interesting, and let's make this last updated in 2013. It probably wouldn't be that late, but just for the purposes of doing this. So 2013 last update. So what this means is, if you have a look through here, all of these are pretty much the same. Yes. So they're high quality. What you have though is one of these is a no, and there's a no here because there was no clear author on the website. It just said it was from the Bureau of Meteorology. So it's a government agency, but the owner couldn't find an author. Okay. So what we're going to do, instead of writing, because remember, one of the criteria for your assessment is that you write concisely. So that means to the point, and there's no extra fluffy language. We don't need to go, the currency of my, my sources are, and then go through that. My relevance is this. The authority is this. We don't need to do that. We're going to pick some elements of our CRAP analysis to go through. Now, if they're all saying yes, let's pick the ones that are saying something different. So these two here. So you might have one that says, like, you might have a paragraph that suggests that both things have high quality aspects in terms of their accuracy, because they match each other, and both of their purposes are to educate and inform. So that would be something that you can say like is similar, and then you might have something here that's different. So what I'm going to do is I am going to color the things that I can group together, and how I'm going to put these ones together, and they're both positive, aren't they? And I'm going to have also this. So these things here, both informing. And then the one thing I'm going to actually pick is, I'm just going to pick currency. I'm not going to do the other one because it doesn't need to have it. Remember, it's some elements. And I'm going to pick currency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and have a look at this checklist. So you might say further identification is not needed because, both pieces of evidence answer the research. So here it is. I've written something there. So if I get my little marker pen out, I'm going to use pink because I like that color, and I'm going to put a tick there. I've done this bit here. I'm going to then write a limitation. So I might start off with, I'm going to be really careful because I don't want to be giving that away. That is something that you need to do as a part of your ISMG, correctly identify a limitation. So that is, if you have a look here, a weak point with the issues in the evidence. So if you think about like your experiment, what were some of the things that restricted the reliability or reduced the reliability of your experiment? So that's what we're looking for in terms of the evidence that you collected and their experiment. Or if they haven't done an experiment, where are they getting that information from? If they don't know where they're getting that information from, that would be a limitation within your data. So you might have something like a limitation in the data was, state what it is, because that's identifying it. This affects the reliability, explaining why the limitation is an issue. And overall, though, it does not weaken that. In my case, spring tides are caused by the full moon. The position that spring tides are caused by the full moon. So that's what you would have as your little paragraph for limitations. Now, what we're looking at is the crap part of it. So the crap analysis to evaluate our research process. Wrong one here. So we're looking at this one here. The research process was evaluated to ensure the quality of the data. Then we're going to say something along the lines of the purpose of both sources was to inform. This is because both pieces are, what's the word I'm looking for? Both pieces are written to provide information to reader. For example, lunar attraction, or sorry, BOM, so put that out in full, 2013, is a public website run, run by the government. So what I've done there is I've linked it to one of the purposes, like what is that one there? I've stated why its purpose. And I've also stated that why is it important, or how is it, what was the evidence behind its purpose? Because they're both, one is a government website, and it's important because provide information to the reader. So that's a factual thing. So that's probably not the best, but remember, I'm trying to get you guys to do this yourself. So that is how you would do it. Then you would do the same thing again for the authority. The authority, helps if I can spell, of the sources of evidence were, and then you would list. This strengthens the quality of the evidence because, and then you would say why it's important, because reasons having good authorities is important. For example, the BOM is a, I think it's like Lofts and Evergreen are textbook writers. Or for example, Lofts and Evergreen published their textbook for schools, or something along those lines. You want to make sure that whatever you're doing, it's the same in anything where you're looking to provide. you want to make sure that you make a statement about the aspect, explain its importance in terms of the quality, in terms of quality, and then you're going to provide an example or the evidence in your work. And that's going to help you here. So in your evaluation, we always and it's just like anything else. What aspect are you evaluating? Why is it important to evaluate that in terms of the quality? So if anything is in those positives, they would be, it's a strength or of the quality of the evidence. And then you would have an example. Now this is getting quite long, this video, so I want to wrap it up there. The only thing is though, if you've got something that's comparable, so you would have the aspect of like your currency. So the aspect of the currency for the data is, for the sources of evidence is different. What is it? One is more recent than the other. For example, the BOM website has been updated since 2013. However, the Loss and Evergreen book has been written in the last 5 years. And it was published in 2014. It is important to have up-to-date data because, so even though I haven't put it in that, in the whole statement, explain, and then evidence, I've gone statement, evidence, explain. I'm still covering all those bases. It's just an easier format, like it's an easy format and structure if you want to go this way. There is nothing stopping you from going statement, evidence, and then explanation, okay? Or explaining something, as long as it's coherent, concise, to the point, is logical. All right, that is you writing your evaluation. So if we go through there's an evaluation using an element of CRAP to evaluate your sources of your research process. And then your limitations, you're doing that. And look at that. I've got probably one little half paragraph to open it up, paragraph, and one there. Okay. Awesome. Have a good one. Good luck. All the best with this one.